Hi and welcome back. My name is Kristen and I'm coming to you from my hand-dyed yarn studio, Skein Yarn, located in Coffs Harbour, Australia. Here on my channel I talk about all things knitting and yarn with a little bit of sewing and other crafts sprinkled in. You can find me on Instagram as Skein Yarn and I'm on Ravelry as K10, that's K10. So I just wanted to start off by saying thank you if you came to our Saturday studio. I know a lot of people who watch the podcast who are local came and said hello and introduced themselves. It was lovely. We had such a wonderful day. We started at 9 in the morning and finished at 2, and throughout the whole day we were busy. We had people in the shop. It was wonderful. So if you don't know, we released our Knitting for Olive yarn. So we are now a stockist of Knitting for Olive. And that was our first sort of release day, I guess. And we opened it up for locals to come and have a look so they could have first picks of what we had in stock. And then after the open day, I put the yarn on the website. And yeah, it was amazing. We also have Chalgu needles and they went really quickly, and it was just such a lovely day. I met so many new knitters. There was knitters that came up from different areas around Coffs Harbour, which was fantastic. And yeah, we were just overwhelmed and I was so grateful, and by the end of the day I was very tired, but yes, it was just such an amazing day. It couldn't have gone off better. We are planning on doing another open studio in December, just before Christmas, I think. I have actually put in a restock for Knitting for Olive. It's done really well, so I've restocked some colours, and we have also added a few new colours. Knitting for Olive has just, I don't even know how many colours they have, but it's very hard to choose a palette, and I think I chose pretty well, but yeah, there were a few colours that I wanted to add that I didn't get the first time around, so I got them this time. And yeah, I'm just super happy with the response that we've had. I've also put in another order with another yarn place, which I will be revealing in the next couple of weeks, I guess. So that will be our next studio open day, will be the release of that yarn, and I'll be putting dates out yeah, within the next week or so as to when we'll be open. But like I said, it will definitely be before Christmas sometime. But yeah, it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I was talking to a few local knitters and we were talking about maybe putting together some sort of knitting group that meets here at the studio. I did sort of say, let me know what times and days would be good for people, but then everybody has different opinions as to when they can come in. So yes, that was it's kind of hard to please everybody, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put together a knitting group, chat group on Instagram, so if you're watching this and you're interested, just message me on Instagram and I'll add you to the group. I haven't actually made the group up yet, but I will. But yeah, I'm just sort of trying to work out when the best time would be to meet up, so that would be fun. I'm thinking maybe a monthly thing, once a month to begin with anyway. And yeah, so that's in the works. Okay, so I might as well talk about what I'm wearing. So I finished the Ranunculus tee and I am super happy with it. This is using our new yarn Habitat, which we are releasing this week on Friday. I did mention in the previous podcast that I was wanting to knit this with a closer neck. I noticed a lot of the projects on Ravelry, the neck was very wide. And I do know in the pattern there is an option for a closer fitting neck, but from what I could see I wanted it like even closer. So what I ended up doing was I cast on with a smaller needle. I think I used, it was either 5 or 5.5. All these notes are on my project page on Ravelry, which I have linked below. So yeah, I actually knit the second size in the smaller needles, and because the ranunculus itself, the gauge is, I mean the ease, you have lots and lots of ease in the yoke and body. So I figured if I went down a needle size it wouldn't matter too much. I did do a gauge swatch and I worked out my my gauge. I knew that if I used a smaller needle size the yoke would be fine, but I would have to add stitches to the body to make it fit because otherwise it would have been too small. So yeah, I knit the yoke as pattern. I added more stitches. I went up to the next size, I think. It's all in my project, on my project notes. So then I added more stitches. I got it up to 2 inches of positive ease. It turned out perfectly. I'm super happy with it. I will be knitting another one. I've never knit ranunculus, and there's so many projects on Ravelry. It's one of the most knitted patterns ever, I think, on Ravelry, and I can see why. It knits up super quickly. I did find the stitch detail, the little slip stitch detail, difficult to get my head around reading the instructions, but the whole sweater has been not videotaped, but there's videos on YouTube that takes you through the entire project and construction. So if you're new to knitting a sweater, it's actually a good one to knit because you can just follow along with the instructions in the videos. Anyway, I did watch a video on the slip stitch, and once I saw it I understood what I was meant to do, and that was fine. And yeah, it knits up really quickly. The actual gauge for the ranunculus pattern, if you're knitting it in fingering weight, it's very loose, almost see-through. So this, what I did is it's a lot of tighter, the gauge, so it's not as see-through obviously, but I did have to tweak the pattern to get it to fit this way. I do know also you can knit the ranunculus using a fingering weight held together with a mohair. I know people have knit it in DK weight, so if you're knitting it at a larger gauge, obviously it'll be a tighter fabric, and that's another way you can do it. There's different options too, long sleeve, short sleeve. I mean, it's a really adaptable pattern. That's probably why a lot of people have knit multiple ranunculuses. I will definitely be knitting this again, and I will use my own modification for the yoke because I love how it sits up quite high. Now I will get some photos and I'll pop them in as I'm talking of my sweater. I did actually knit it very cropped. I was hoping to squeeze this out with the top out of one skein, but it didn't work. I had to actually add a second skein in for the hem and just to do the sleeves. But I wanted it to wear with this particular dress that I'm wearing. It is a little strappy dress, and I actually really like wearing sleeves. So I knit this for the dress and it fits perfectly. So it sits very high. It's right on top of my waist where the dress actually comes in. So yeah, it's perfect. So next time I knit this, like I said, I would follow my own modifications. I won't knit it cropped if I'm going to wear it with jeans. I would crop it, but not as cropped as this one. And yeah, it'd be nice to have one for winter too with long sleeves. So I very, very much enjoyed knitting this. And yeah, if you're interested to see my mods, you can click over onto my Ravelry project page and have a read. Yeah, so I might as well talk about the yarn itself. I'll just go and grab a couple of skeins. This week we are releasing our new yarn base, which is called Habitat. It is a 100% non-superwash yarn, and I do have a few non-superwash bases, but I want to get a few more. So I'm starting off with the fingering weight because it is summer. I am hoping to get a sport and a DK at some point too. But I was really happy that I found this yarn because it's very soft. I know sometimes superwash yarns can be a little bit, I don't want to say scratchy, but they're not as fine as what you get with superwash. But this is actually is it a 21 micron count merino? It's one of the super fine merinos, so it's lovely, and obviously it hasn't been superwash treated, so it feels if not woolly as in scratchy woolly, but it feels untreated, like it's bouncy and lovely, and yeah, it's really nice to knit up. It knits up quite light actually, but really warm. It'd be lovely for colour work. And also, as you can see, the stitch definition, it's lovely. It knitted up in lace really, really well, and I can see it knitting up in cables as well. So it's a great yarn. I was also really impressed by the way it dyed up. So this is the green that I'm wearing. This is our new colour Jewel, and it is quite saturated. So sometimes, as I said in last podcast, sometimes with superwash yarns, non-superwash yarns, sorry, there's quite a bit of oil left in the yarn, and that oil, obviously it's in there, the lanolin is in there for sheep to protect it from dirt and whatever. It's like a natural protection for the fibre. So when you're trying to add dye, it can stop the dye, a lot of the dye, from entering into the fibre and dyeing it. That means sometimes that the colours can be quite pale. It's very hard to get the colour nice and saturated. But this yarn, it was fine. I mean, it isn't as saturated as what you can get with some of the superwash yarns, but it was beautiful. There is a blue that we have called Midnight Blue, and on the superwash yarns it does dye up very dark. On this yarn it dyes up lighter, but where that's happened I've put it in the description on the shop so you can tell. But yeah, it dyed up speckles beautifully. This is a new colour. This is called Oatmeal. So these will be on the shop when you see this, because I'm going to be releasing this video on Friday for our shop update. And yeah, I will put a link below, and yeah, go and check it out. I do have another finished object. So last episode I was talking about the mug rugs that I was sent for my birthday, and I was saying that I was wanting to knit some. Well, I have knit plenty. So I got some, I have a ton of leftover yarns at home. So I just went through my scraps and started knitting some. These ones I've knit for the studio shop. I have them all around, and they're in my favourite colours, which is the green and the pink. I marled these, so I held two sock weight yarns together, and yeah, I didn't actually use a pattern. Julia sent me some mug rugs for my birthday, and what I just did is I counted her stitches that she had knit and I followed her pattern. But I do know there is a pattern on Ravelry for this. I'll see if I can find it and I'll link it below. But it's very easy to work out. And I did the little fringe, which in this superwash yarn it's sort of not sitting as well as it could, but anyway, so they're my ones. And then I've knit two for my these will be going to my aunt, and then I'm going to actually knit her a bigger one for her teapot. It's really cute. So these ones, they're basically coasters, and they're called mug rugs, obviously, because they look like little rugs, and you can use them to put pot plants on or whatever around the house, and it's just a lovely little gift idea. One of these is super quick to knit, and yeah, they're really fun. I mean, you can have fun striping in colours or fading or doing whatever, and great to use up, you know, your scraps. So yeah, I'll be knitting more of these up until Christmas, and I'll be sending them off as gifts to people. So yeah, they're lovely. I also have cast on for the Amélie tee by Petite knit. So this is a brand new cast on, and as soon as the Knitting for Olive yarn came into the shop, I picked out the yarn that I wanted to knit. So the Amélie tee, I'll pop a picture up. There is a 2-colour version and a 3-colour version. I was going to knit the 3-colour version, but then when I was looking through Ravelry on people's projects, I noticed there was a few that did a 2-colour version, but doing their own stripe sequence. So the Petite knit stripe sequence is, they're sort of uneven stripes. I'll put a picture in so you can see it. But what I liked, what I saw on other people's projects, was a 6-2 stripe sequence. So you do 6 rows of the main colour and then 2 of the contrast, and I thought that looked really lovely, so that's what I've done. So I'm using the Knitting for Olive cotton merino, and this is 70% organic cotton and 30% merino, and it is super duper soft. I knit some little swatches for the studio, so when people come in they can have a feel of it. It's lovely, lovely yarn. So I'm knitting with the Terracotta Rose, and then the light colour is Ballerina. Both of these colours we've almost sold out of, but I have ordered in more. So yeah, I haven't, oh, I know what I was going to say. So I started knitting this, and I was knitting, I think the pattern calls for a 3mm needle, which I don't have, or I couldn't find. So I went up to 3.25 and I cast on, and I thought that would be fine. But I had knit, I was just about to join in for the round after knitting the top of the yoke and doing all the shaping, and when I did actually join it, I realized the neck was huge. So it was funny because I actually, well, I didn't gauge swatch, which I should have done at the beginning of the project, but when I checked my gauge, when I realized that it was too big, it seemed to me that the gauge was fine, but then the fabric was actually quite stretchy. So then I pulled it all out, and then I did a small gauge swatch on a size 2.75 because I didn't have a 3, and it was perfect. Just maybe a tiny little bit bigger than what it should have been, but I knew that it wouldn't matter. When I did the math, it was fine. So yeah, so I cast on with a 2.75 and it's coming along beautifully. I mainly worry when I do things that are a little bit bigger than the pattern recommends. I worry that the neck will be too big, but I can see that this is going to be fine. I know the finishing for this sweater is you pick up around the neck and then knit a couple of rows and then bind off, so you have like a natural curl. The fabric will curl just like it is kind of here. I don't know if I like that. I might actually just do a little rib and then bind off. I'm still deciding. Yeah, but apart from that, I'm just going to knit it to pattern. And like you can see, I've done quite a lot. I'm hoping to get this done for next week, because either next week or the week after, because like I said, I have put a restock in for Petite knit, and I do have new colours coming as well. I have 4 new colours coming. So what I think I might do is put together kits for this, and I will do a 2-colour version and I'll do a 3-colour version as well. So yeah, if you're interested, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, it's a lovely pattern. It's really easy. I mean, Petite knit, yes, she doesn't have like I noticed like for when you're joining in the round for the body, you finish the yoke and you've still got all your stitch markers. She doesn't say, you know, remove stitch markers and keep knitting. You just know to do that. So maybe her patterns for beginner knitters, because she doesn't hold your hand like a lot of patterns do. But if you've knit a lot, or not a lot, but if you've knit sweaters before, you sort of know what you're doing and you don't need those instructions. So it doesn't matter to me so much, but I think if you are a new knitter, some of the instructions that are left out, you might be wondering why. Like, why aren't I removing, like, where's the stitch markers, what am I meant to do, that kind of thing. But I love petite knit patterns. I was talking to someone here in the shop on Saturday, and we were talking about petite knit and how good the patterns fit. They always do fit really nicely, and the style of them, they're very wearable. Like, they're very basic in a way, but the shaping and her patterns themselves, they're not basic in terms of construction, but just by the way they look very simple, but they're very wearable. So I really like her patterns, and yeah, this is going to be lovely. I mean, the cotton, the 70% cotton is really nice and light, and I can just feel it. Like, we've actually had a heat wave here the last week, and it's been very hot, and knitting this has been lovely because it is such a cool to the touch yarn. So yeah, so this is the Petite Knit Amélie tee, and yeah, watch out for kits. They'll be coming in about a week or so whenever our yarn arrives. The other thing I've been knitting on is the Margaux tee by Gregoria Fibres, and I was really hoping to get this done for Saturday, last Saturday, for the open studio, but I didn't. I have finished the back. It's on a holder, so I can't stretch it, but the back is done. And I am up to the rib section for the front, I think. Yes. Am I? Yes, I am, because I took the needles off this to use it for something else. But yes, I'm on the rib for the front, and then all I need to do is join the top shoulder bits together, finish the armhole, and it's ready to wear. So I'm knitting this using our Cushy DK in the colourway Crema de Caffe, and it's such a lovely texture. This is a quick knit, but I've sort of been toing and froing with other projects, so I haven't done this as quickly as what I hope to do, but yes, I should have this off the needles very soon, and yeah, hopefully next time I speak to you guys it will be done. My other whips, which I haven't worked on, is the Stay Toasty scarf by Veronika Lindberg. I am knitting that for the Lovely Day podcast knit along with Alicia. But I haven't picked that one up. And the other one is the One Love Mystery knit along by Hockey. Again, I haven't touched that, but they will be done. They're just being put to the side because I have got like other things that I really do need to finish first, but they're lovely and easy, those ones, so I can pick them up at any time and just knit on them. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my whips and my finished objects. So talking about patterns, there's been one pattern that popped up. Actually, it was someone who called into the shop. She was picking yarn for a pattern that she had found. Actually, what happened was she was watching the Game of Wool that show on the BBC, and there's a knitter who's on the show who has these apparently beautiful sweaters. I haven't watched the show, so I don't know, but she had seen this lovely sweater which was a 1940s pattern that has been revived, and she had come in to choose colours to knit this pattern, and it's gorgeous. It's called Jojo, and it is, well, initially it was released in the 1940s, and apparently there was a movie with Scarlett Johansson who wore it, and then it became quite a sensation, and then Susan Crawford found the pattern, and then she has added sizes to it, because the original Jojo pattern, it was knit in one size with one sleeve type, and that was it. But Susan has revamped it. There's different sizes, there's different types of sleeve caps, I guess, that I've noticed with people's projects on Ravelry. There's like a puff sleeve, there's one that doesn't have as much shaping to it, so there's all these different things that she's added. So she's modernized the pattern. It's knit using, it can be knit using 7 colors, which is what we were picking out for the person who came to the shop. So hello, I know you watched the podcast, Janet. And so I think it's anywhere between 3 and 7 colors. So I'm really quite obsessed by this. I love the shaping, I love the style of it. It does have that 1940s look. It's very square yoked with the I will do the puffy sleeves, I think. And then I'm pretty sure you can do long sleeve and a short sleeve version, and then there's different body lengths, so I would definitely do more of a cropped length. As to the colors, I'm not sure. I had a lot of fun choosing the 7 colors with Janet, and her colors were beautiful. She actually chose a mixture of knitting for olive, cotton merino and no waste wool, and I can't wait to see hers. So I have actually new yarn that I spoke about that I've ordered in for the shop, so I'm thinking maybe that would be a good contender. It's either that or the knitting for olive, cotton merino, I'm not sure. But yeah, as to whether I do 7 colors or 5, I'm still thinking about it, but I just wanted to put that pattern out there because I know a lot of you like to knit color work and you'd be interested in seeing it. The pattern is available on Ravelry, and it's like so much information in that pattern on sizing and different variations of knitting it, so it's well worth having a look. So yeah, sewing wise, I have not done much sewing. To be honest, on Sunday, after Saturday and getting the shop ready during the week before that and everything, and we had a huge wholesale order, I've been so busy. So Sunday Paul and I went for a swim, and then I came back and I just sat on the couch and knit for the whole day. I was exhausted. So I haven't done a lot of sewing, but I have cut out the men's Metro tee for Paul. What did I do? I'm using the fabric that I got at the secondhand shop a few weeks ago. So I'm using this one, which is the t-shirt fabric in the lovely maroony colour. Sorry about that, we had a fire inspection thing happening today and I completely forgot about it, so the guy just came in in the middle of podcasting. Anyway, yeah, so I was talking about the men's Metro tee, which I am sewing for Paul, and yeah, the instructions are on my laptop, so hopefully I can get that finished this coming weekend. It's very quick, like it sews up really quickly. The other thing that I have cut out is the Lunar Tank by Helens Closet. This is a free pattern that I have actually made 2 of them. I've made one in a woven. That had a tiny bit of stretch and it worked okay, although I did have a little bit of a problem with the neckline, but I was able to fudge it, and then because it is meant to be it is meant to be sewn out of a stretchy tee fabric. So I have sewn one in a t-shirt jersey, one in a kind of a stretchy woven fabric, and then I have another one that I've cut out in a tee, like a jersey. So yeah, I will be sewing that, and it is called the Lunar Tee because the bottom, it's a big circle, and it's lovely in summer to wear because it's very loose and it's very cool, and again, it is a super quick pattern to sew up. So yeah, and I think that's everything that I have to talk about. Again, thank you so much if you came to the open studio. If you're thinking of coming to the next one, which is actually this month because we're in December now, make sure you sign up to the newsletter. I will be putting out details of that in the next week or so. So this Friday, obviously, we have the release of our new yarn, which is the Habitat, which is actually this Friday, which is today. You will be seeing it today. I'm podcasting on a Tuesday, so I'm very early. So yeah, make sure you check that out. And let me know what you guys are knitting, and I love hearing your comments, so make sure you comment below and tell me, what you're knitting, if you're coming to the next studio open day. Are you interested in coming along to the knitting meetup if you're local? Otherwise, let me know what you're knitting, what you're doing. Be nice to hear from you guys, and I guess I will be back in another 2 weeks, so I hope you're all well, and I will talk to you soon. Happy knitting. Bye.